Hello, good morning, and welcome to Wake Up Nigeria. My name is Daddy Chris. I'm here from SRTV London. As usual, I have my team joining me from SRTV Abuja and Delta and Edo. And today is packed because have in fact we today is one of those days where we really need to talk to the people, or what we call those who can make things happen. Sometimes we think about this issue, we see it as so simple. Maybe it's not that simple. Right on this show today, we'll be bringing you a lot of guests who will be able to give us, who are on ground working on this issue, especially we're talking about the food crisis in Nigeria. We'll be bringing some those who are experts in agriculture, and most importantly, some people in government who are doing everything they can, so they say, to make things happen for us differently. That's what we see today. But as usual, we're going to take a look at the newspaper review. But first, let me quickly introduce you to these beautiful women. They are on ground already. Look at Abuja. Abuja, hey, look at the smile. They have these two beautiful ladies.
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. How's London this morning?
London is cold as usual, but when I see you guys, it's like you people are hot and I am cold. You see the
We are hot. We are
Can you
hot, but
imagine?
we prefer cold.
But what?
Speak
What
for
about?
yourself.
Eh?
I prefer cold, sir.
So you don't want to prefer cold. Like we were talking yesterday, Nigeria is so blessed. Nigeria is the only country where you don't need we don't have the change in weather, and you can survive even when it is hot. All you need
Yeah.
is put on a fan. But here you cannot survive when it is cold. People will die. You understand? That is how bad it is. We're a blessed nation. Honestly, I've never heard story of tornado, earthquake. We're so
That's
blessed.
great.
In fact, we're so blessed, and yet we cannot feed ourselves. That's why we're going to bring in some people in today to discuss that very difficult issue. So you're welcome. You guys look good. When I tell
Thank
we
you.
can make things different for us though. Anyway, in data is Madam Princess. She's supposed to be here anchoring the show, but okay, she's not here right now. How are you, Princess?
Good morning, sir. I'm very
All right, your network is going to be friendly because we have a lot to do today. Very, very much to do this morning. Yeah, I can see. I can see that the network is trying to tell us it's stronger than
no.
us. Yes.
Somebody is actually trying to call me, trying so hard to call, and I've been trying
Okay.
to, reject the call. Maybe that is the problem.
That's
Good
why.
morning,
Yes.
sir. Good
Morning.
morning to Abuja.
Good morning, princess.
In
How are
fact,
you, ladies, today?
We're fine, thank you. And you?
I'm very well, thank you.
nice. Well, as usual, we're going to be expecting Edo, and we have a lot of people who say they're coming on the show today. But before when those people come in, we will not be able to do what we do best. So I think we should rush this morning. I don't want to give any time at all. Let's quickly take a look at some of the news of the dailies. But hey, any news on the headline that you really want us to talk about before we go into that, Princess, or anybody on the platform?
Yes, sir. So there is this news. We've been talking about wage award for quite some time now. I know the last time they did implement wage award for civil servants, and then we are seeing the president also this morning saying begs governor to implement wage awards now. We have this issue before on ground. The other time we brought in the NSC head of information here. He told us about the wage award, and that has not been implemented. And now the president is saying because of the hardship on ground in Nigeria,
Yeah.
we have to implement that wage award now. So I'm just saying, he did say that he would do as much as possible to provide food for the citizens to make sure that we don't die of
Hunger.
hunger and all that. And then thank God also we have somebody joining us from Kogi State, Lagos, and of course in Delta State on behalf of the governors. They will be telling us about the measures our leaders are putting in place to cushion this food scarcity, food crisis, and of course the hardship. But Daddy Chris, I don't think at this point, do you even think that if we talk about wage award, do you think that we help or resolve this very crucial crisis we're seeing right now?
Well, I've not been a big fan of goody goody, but I would say yes, because the money has been given to the governors, uh, and because that's what I want to go ask them today. The president is asking for wage award. Has he made provision for it based on the allocation? Is it possible for it to be done? That would be one thing, because the minimum wage needs to be implemented. A good minimum wage needs to be implemented for Nigeria to move forward. The
And sir,
painful
don't
thing is,
forget also that just before you move forward, sir, don't forget also that we're talking about civil servant. So what now happened to the private sectors or the ordinary worker that is just under somebody? So what happened to
yes,
them?
I know. And that is the biggest challenge we have in a country called Nigeria. The minimum wage should not be implemented by the government alone or the public sector alone, but both sectors. But who monitors what happened in today Nigeria? It's like you can just employ people and pay them what you want. Nobody asks you anything. And in this country, princess, if I employ somebody and I pay the person below minimum wage, I go to prison. It's not that simple. They don't take it like joke. You don't pay below. In fact, you know the funniest thing, I wanted to bring in people to come and perform, musicians to perform. And they calculated that the number of hours is 40 hours. The money is about, I put £1,500 because normally they don't perform for 40 hours. They canceled the visa because they said it's below the UK minimum wages. They won't even allow me to hire for that reason. So that is how much they monitor it. Am I not the private sector? I'm not. It's not my private business. But the government will not allow you to do that. And that is where the government is. Do we have a ministry that actually monitors that? Labor can shout as much as they want. All Labor is doing right now is only for those in public sector. Like you rightly question, what about those in the private sector? These are things we'll be asking them, and Labor will come. But today, I think what is, my own take would be, instead of giving this money to individuals in the name of this, why not we use this money to invest and give these people a proper job and get them paid? We may take another 5-6 months, put the whole money together, invest it into something, get more jobs, pay people better.
I think the problem we have, sir, when we're talking about a country like us, a country like Nigeria, is that it's it's getting these things done, and if we say we should put the money somewhere for us, to invest and then give people jobs, that will take time. And of course, we all know the kind of some of the leaders we have. I'm not saying all of them, but how are we sure that these monies will be used, for these such, aims? So I think that, like you said, the wage award will actually go a long way. I would have even loved to bring, the LNSA head of information here this morning. Maybe tomorrow we'll try and bring
Tomorrow,
him
yeah.
here,
Yes,
and
yes.
so he can tell us, are they okay, and what is the amount we're looking at? How is it going to be? And especially, are they fighting for just civil servants? What are they doing about the private sector, the ordinary Nigerian adult that has no one to speak for them?
Good. And that is it, because sometimes you see young girls going to work and they said, but in fact, I was in Lagos and the girl, I said her salary is 15,000 naira. The transport to work was about 12,500 naira then. So what is she working for? So meaning she cannot even feed herself at that place of work. And she goes every day. And I said, what are you going there to do? Nobody is there to ask that difficult question. All we see is, and you see, Princess, the truth is many people are left behind. Nobody even remember that these people exist. And a country where we don't even have the statistics, we don't have the records, there's no, where will the government start from? So we are still living in a very unorganized society. That's why people have a lot of money. You see, my challenge is this, Princess. We have so much money, so much. But the money is in the hands of very few. If we can just distribute this money a little bit, and it will be in the interest of the rich people, because there will be peace in the land. If they can just pay a little bit more and that money is distributed a little bit, you find that we will not need to be going to borrow money or be doing anything. There will be peace in the land. There will be less kidnapping. You cannot expect peace in a land where the people are left behind. It's not going to happen. And that is the things we're facing. I know nobody wants to address the issue of security from that angle. They say, oh, they are hoodlums, they are this and that. They don't want to hear that. I remember having a guest yesterday. She didn't want to hear that. But until we carry the poor people or the downtrodden behind along, we will have this. In fact, failure will remain a self-fulfilling prophecy for us. And I think so before, like I said, before we allow before we get into the details of the issue today, because I'm happy we're going to have some of the government people, we're going to ask them questions. And perhaps our question will be based on around this too. The president is asking for this. Are you people doing it? That will be it. Otherwise, if we want to go into how difficult, I assume they have a lot of challenges as well, to be honest. I will not be president or a governor of a state as it is, because people won't like me. Because I implement very hard measures, you understand? Nobody will like what I will do. By the end of the day, you the rich, you will give more to the society. You the poor, you will work to get whatever you're going to get. Because as it is now, even the so-called public servants, they don't do their jobs. They go to office, they sleep, they break melon, and they go home. How do you get paid for breaking melon? Anyway, so let us quickly go into the newspaper review this morning, and so we can do some good job done before our big boys join us.
Okay, right. So as usual, we're going to punch it first.
Okay.
And we'll start with the punch. The big story: 28 trillion naira budget brouhaha. Parties demand 3.7 trillion naira padding probe. Northern senators disown Ningi. Ningi insists on 3.7 trillion naira allegation. Senators, APC, PDP seek sanction and investigation. FG laments blackout despite 65% subsidy, warns discourse. And that story is on the Punch on page 19. Pray for Nigeria to overcome challenges. Governors tell Muslims. That story is on page 8. Terrorism. UN begins Lagos and Abuja airport security audit. You can find that story on the Punch newspaper on page 21. Unpaid salaries. SSA, NU, and NASU tackle FG. Declare 7-day strike. That story is on page 29 of the Punch. Commuters groan as one chance robbers invade Lagos Ibadan Expressway. That story is on page 5. President Tinubu renews hope for oil and gas sector with bold directives. Tinubu condemns farmer and herder clashes, unveils Niger Agric Airport project. There's a picture of the president. I think he's in a tractor with just some of his people here surrounding him.
Yes. That's like the governor of Lagos State. Is that?
Yes, Sanwo-Olu is here.
Okay. Sanwo-Olu.
Yes. So these are all the stories we have on the Punch newspaper this morning.
Anyway, this probe, this 30 parties demanding 3.7 trillion padding probe. That's a lot to.
Yes.
Now, Princess, what I want to say, I want to ask Princess these difficult questions. Say, pray for Nigeria to overcome challenges. They're saying that to the Muslims. Is it time to pray, Princess?
So I think you already know my stand on take when it comes to national issues and, of course, religious issues as well. You know, it's quite funny that, you know, we have leaders capable and they come with mandates during campaigns, you know, to say what they can do or what they cannot do. And at the end of the day, you are telling us to pray. No, we are not going to pray for, you know, Nigeria to overcome this. The leaders know what to do. Regardless, we have been praying. We are a praying nation. There is no time Nigeria has stopped praying. And of course, we have seen other people as well. We have seen other people We have seen other nations as well. We have Israel. They go to Israel, they pray there. They go to Mecca, they pray. But these people that you even run to there, we know these are the holy lands we have. They have their own economy. They have farms. They have other things. They have sectors. Everything is working. And then they do not tell you, we are here. It's prayer we have been doing. We have seen prayers over time. We have been praying for how long? And so I don't think, like I said, they are, of course, we're a religious country. They can call for prayers as well, but the leaders know exactly what to do. And for instance, you know very well that there's a news I saw this on the Punch that says that commuters grown as one chance robbers invade Lagos Ibadan Expressway. And you don't pray about that. You put securities on the way. You put measures. That is what you are supposed to do.
In
You do
fact,
not call us to pray, sir. That is my take on that. It's not about prayers. The leaders, they actually know what to do.
yes, I cannot agree with you more. But is it Debbie? Should we pray, Debbie, on this matter?
I think it's very funny because I remember when I was in school, our priest was preaching and he made mention of if a lion should appear in church and we sit there praying that God will do something, he's going to jump the window and leave us there because heaven help those who help themselves.
Thank you.
You should do something while praying because
Yes.
faith without work is equals to zero. You need to stand up and work. Religion has done us harm than good in this country because everything is it's not everything that is about prayer is good, of course, but you need to work before you include prayers.
Thank
Prayers
you.
will not take us anywhere. Prayer with work will take us to where we want to be.
Thank you. Blessed, I know you're the one that is you are these dunamis people. Do you think we should continue to pray? Should we let the Muslim pray us out of this calamity?
Like if prayer could better the economy, I know how many prayers I have offered personally
Okay.
for Nigeria. Yes, I know. If you visit churches on Sunday,
Mm.
at least let's say 80% have one or two prayer points for Nigeria and Nigerians. So prayers work hand in hand with so a quick example. I think Jesus could have just sat in the house and prayed for Lazarus to wake up, but he asked that he should be taken to where he was buried, and he told them to remove the stones and all of that, and work was done before Lazarus was brought back to life. So we can't sit somewhere and just keep praying and praying and praying and not put in the work. Like Deborah said, if a lion appears before you and you kneel down and start praying, then that I think is that you are praying. That's the prayer before meal for the lion. You see,
Yes.
like keep praying and then let me eat you up.
Yes.
So we need to do better. We need to stop the religious game and get up. We need to sit up. The Muslims, you are saying they should pray for Nigeria. Individually, they have problems. So they should leave their problem and start praying what our leaders can actually do.
In fact, that is the question I ask is why did God give us eyes so that we can see with it? Why did He give us mouth to feed so that we can use the mouth to talk and to eat? If there's nothing, if we don't need to do anything, why did God give us hands? Why did He give us strength? Why did He give us knowledge? Why did He make us in His own image and likeness? And that's the thing I keep saying to people. One day, Princess, I was coming down at Heathrow Airport. The plane was descending. You understand? All the while, I've been looking up. I've been on the sky and I see the firmament, the beautiful thing God has done. And as the plane was descending, I can see the beautiful thing men have done. Because you see the beautiful light. It's not more beautiful than what God has done. Because God said we should go and increase on what He has done. He didn't say we should wait for Him to do everything for us. I always give example. Today I have electricity. There's light in this room. You guys are all using light now. This is man-made light. But God has created light for us, which is the sun. That is the natural light. That is the one from God. But our own is made for us. We need to take from God knowledge and use it to do more things on earth. Instead, our leaders are deceiving us to pray and pray and pray while they are living in the real world, because they are living in the real world. Tinubu does not know what is electricity failure. He has never seen it in his life. He has been enjoying all this while. The leaders were talking.
And so, sir, when you see the context of that story, that headline on page 8 of the Punch, pray for Nigeria to overcome challenges, governors tell Muslims. Now, when you go through the content of that story, you see that they are talking about, the economic hardship, security, and of course, food crisis here and there. These are the same governor that will not, because of fear of the unknown, they won't even come out with that. You can't even see them. They have fences are so high, security, and so since you are a prayer warrior, why go about with security then? The other day, like I said, a pastor of Mountain of Fire, I think that's the head of Mountain of Fire, was in my street, and you could see that he came with over 60 vehicles, convoy, disturbing the neighborhood. Wanted to chase everybody out of the road. So much police people, security, for just one religious leader. And you tell me that, okay, what of the other church people? Now you will go in, you leave them behind. Something happens, they are on your own. Like Nigeria will say, Oyo is your case. So at the end of the day, sir, we have been praying for too long. And if these are some of the God is not a man. God cannot be mocked. God already knows that these are things you can do as a human being. You don't disturb God unnecessarily.
Exactly.
You already know that you need security. Go and beef up your security. Go and train your security experts to come and do what they're supposed to do. You already know that the health sector is actually collapsing. What are you supposed to do? Revive it. And so you don't come and call God and then you think manners will fall from heaven. It's a lie. I don't believe in that.
And I'm happy. One of the honorable judges joining us, so I'm going to be adding them shortly as soon as they join the show. Well, we'll be looking at that. It's really important for us to appreciate the fact that we cannot pray ourselves out of this. And in fact, Israel, which is the place where it's all started from, the place is Israel, right? They are not praying. Israel they're known for agriculture. They grow their own food. If you see one onions in Israel, it's onions. You understand? This is the same Israel where why are they not praying to God to give them food? Why is manna not falling from heaven? The Bible made it clear. The days of manners are gone, but that's what we pray. Our leaders are mocking us anyway. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to add the honorables as they join us. So there's going to be the unusual way of doing things today. But I think we can quickly look at another headlines as they are settling in, so that we can push on, because as I add them, they may participate in the discussion as well. First, let me add Aminu Isa Usman. I know he's an agriculturalist. He's going to be joining us shortly.
Yes, he's joining us from Kogi State.
Okay, yes. Aminu.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay.
Morning, how are you doing?
Good morning, sir.
Good to have you here.
Yes. And there's Honorable Adeleke. Let me see if I can add Honorable. Honorable is right here with us. Let's see. Good morning, Honorable.
Good morning, sir.
You're welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. Honorable Adeleke Olabanjo is the supervisor for agriculture, social service, rural and community affairs, Lekki LCDA, all the way from Lagos. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yes.
Good morning, Princess.
Yes. As it is today, sir, we are trying to look at our economy in Nigeria as a state. We know we have it all. We don't need a fortune teller to tell us. We don't need to pray to know that Nigeria is blessed with all we need to survive.
Definitely.
We're hungry. That is alarming. The world is watching us and they're saying, what is wrong with these people? Like I said, the landscape of Niger State alone is bigger than Holland. Yeah, Holland generates $20 billion from agricultural exports. $20 billion. That's not small amount of things. And yet we cannot feed ourselves. People in Nigeria are hungry today. What is going on? I'm going to throw this question straight on to the Honorable first, and then we will have the input from Isa. Why are we here, sir?
Yeah, all I can say, we all know the situation of Nigeria right from onset, that there's always a jeopardy in every industry. You can imagine the scarcity. You said that the Niger State is still suffering from the food security or something, and in every part of the country, whereby the government is trying all its efforts to make sure the food is in circulation for the masses, but there are some few of people either in the government or outside the government that will be jeopardizing the effort of the government. That is the problem we're having in this country, and that needs to do with people mindset. And this thing will be anonymous to the masses, and they will continue blaming government. You can imagine a situation whereby in Lagos State here, for example, we plant rice here in Lagos State. You can imagine a situation whereby the government will input adequate funds in order to grow the rice. Okay. You understand? For example, maybe the government put 50 million into the rice, invested in 50 million into the rice, and the report that came at the end of the day, after they might have jeopardized the effort, instead of the productivity to high, the report that could come from that sector, since the governor is not there, the what's it called? The permanent secretary of the Agric is not there. Commissioner of Agric cannot be everywhere. So the report that will come from there is that we have a lot of birds. We have bush grasshopper that usually come to damage our rice, this and that, of which all these are mere lie. They just jeopardize it in terms of, they find their own way from it. When the government invested 50 million into the rice farming, rice planting, at the end of the day, the government is getting back maybe 10 million. We can imagine that. That is just the scenario. And it's everywhere. All parts of all the states in the country. We have people that are jeopardizing the effort of the government.
Okay, let me say this. If the government, because this has been a long time now, Commissar, if the government try to implement a policy and they can see the saboteur, the people thwarting their effort, why are they not making changes to make sure maybe this is not the way to go? We need to implement a tighter measure, because everywhere in the world, sir, even in the UK, by the time government throw anything, people abuse it. But when they come up with a proper sanction and motivation, then things work. Perhaps, don't you think it boils down to, because I'm following what you said now, it boils down to the implementation, which is the sanction and the motivation that follows such investment?
Fine, you are right, which is the best measure to take. But as we all know, that change is constant. The government can make a policy that will change this the story. But changing is gradual. It's a gradual process. It's not something that you can just implement within the couple of weeks or something. Yes. And I believe in this Ashwaju administration that everything will definitely reshape.
Okay. We'll come back to that. But let's ask Aminu. The question I will ask is: are we producing enough? Is it? Because the question is: are we producing enough? Is it the effort of the? Because I do know no story that government is really making some effort. Is that effort enough? Are we producing as a nation in terms of food now? Food, something to put in the mouth, which is the number one thing that every country will need.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, sir.
If first thing first, we are not producing enough. That's first thing first. And then secondly, we're all responsible for what is happening today, the government and the masses. Why did I say this? It's because the government is trying in its own policies but implementing the policies are the problems that we have. Because as we speak, just like my colleague there from Lagos just said, the government will give the input and the farmers, or the so-called political farmers, will sell them at the gate. These things will, at the end of the day, not get to the farm. And what do you expect at the end of the day? Low yield from everywhere. So that's the problem. So it's a problem from both sides. Then another thing again is on the government side, you can sometimes get a proposal. I know of a certain person who got an approval of over 10 million from a certain government agency that I wouldn't want to mention name. But what eventually got to him was not even up to 4 million. You understand? Though it's a grant,
Yes.
but at the end of the day, you can't get the right yield at the end of the day. You understand? So these are the problems. So the government on their side.
Yes. And maybe I'll come back to Honorable. You see, we go back to the implementation we're talking about. Having a good intention is one thing, but the good intention is not going to get things done. What the government have good intention, they come up with good policies. Like we know Nigeria have. I said Nigeria say good thing and we do something else. We say all the good things in the world and we do something else. So the good intention is there. I can see the president. I can see the president. I feel sorry for him because this is just the most difficult task anybody will want to have at this stage in his life. At this, even for me, I don't want to be president right now. But that being said, we know you have good intentions, sir. But if the implementation, by the time, like Aminu said now, you give, if I win a contract of 10 billion, I'm probably going to have 2 billion at the end of the day to do the job. Because the so-called political farmers, like he used the word, let's stick on the farming now, they won't let this thing get to the ordinary people. What is the government doing to change this? This narrative needs to change, my brother.
God bless you. In terms of the changing of the narrative, we are doing something in Lagos State now, which every citizen of Lagos State, the indigenous of Lagos State, give kudos to the governor. And this thing has been existing since the tenure of Asiwaju himself as a governor of Lagos State. Then, when they want to give back to society, the governor will go to the grassroots level through the CDC and CDA. You understand? We know ourselves. We know people that are living. We understand the terrain very, very well.
Exactly.
So if the government want to do it like we are doing in Lagos now, the governor will call all the 57 CDC chairmen to Alausa and have a meeting with them, represented by Commissioner of Agriculture, right? Now, they will now say, okay, we want to give each local government bag of rice, bag of beans, and bag of gari. You understand? As a CDC chairman, I know how many CDA under my custody.
Yes.
You understand? So once I collect that one, my own role now is to call all the chairmen of the community.
Yes.
They will now come. They will give them we share the rice among them. All of them will go back to their community, and we have a data collection of each community.
Yes.
We can get them via phone number as well as other means. We interview, we do everything to make sure everybody is happy at the end of the day with the government. So if every state can emulate this, no one will be complaining of food scarcity. And moreover, let me quickly touch where I omit about the Niger State. That my honorable colleagues now just said that we are not producing adequate food.
Yes.
And let me say, I will agree with him. But the one we are producing, even if it is 55% or 60%, we are still producing. You can see a video that was going viral on social media. Then I think it was last week or something, that we have our own in Nigeria here, our own rice here, locally made rice here, whereby some people will now go and rebagging the local rice into the foreign rice. You understand? Then
Yes,
the exploitation of our local food is there when the food is not even adequate for us here in the country to eat. So look at all that. But if government can take a very good measure like Lagos State usually do, let all the states emulate Lagos State in terms of that. If they want everything to go to the grassroots, let them follow the CDC and CDA.
Thank
So
you.
they will now know that if the masses are now shouting of lack of food, then they will know where to channel their query to.
Yeah, and perhaps, the Honorable, you said it all. The model in Lagos emulate Nigeria. We have the states have local government, and the local government have wards. So this country has been broken into pieces enough for administrative purposes. So if the government, we're going to come back to that, whether we're sharing or now we are producing. If the government really want to work, then we shouldn't be excused of the thing didn't get to the people, because if I call my local government chairman and I say, listen, you are having 30 billion for this, and the 30 billion, I will not be monitoring the local government chairman. You now go and call your wards, and you share the things within among the ward, and the ward go back, because even when you go to the ward, they still have their own unit, and things will definitely get to the people. I do know that that's where you see the local government chairman will do their own, the ward will do their own before it will get to the people too. So it's a difficult thing that but the good thing is, even if governor does that, he needs to follow up, because you don't know what the chairman have in mind. You don't know what the ward will do, or the local government councillors will do in their ward. So there should be follow up, and it should be. This is a digital age. Imagine, we never see. Honorable, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. Let me say now, supposing there is a period of accountability, public accountability for what we do. Now, I'm a governor. I've given everybody, all the local government, 30 billion. At the end of 6 months, I want them to talk to the nation, to my state, to my people on what they did with the money. Full proof. Go and film it and let us talk to Nigeria. So that way, people will sit up. And by the time you just allow them to get away with it, Aminu is back. Let me add Aminu back so that the debate can continue. Why? So in terms of the implementation, what we're saying is, perhaps government have no excuse here to give things out and expect people to do what you want. People will be dubious everywhere in the world. In the UK, we have people abusing the system.
Yes, there should be consequences.
In this digital age, government can make people uncomfortable. If I give you 2 naira, like if it's your personal money, you give it to your wife, you want her to actually use the money well. So the children will not be, imagine you come home, you give money to a woman to feed your home, and the children are hungry. You should be angry. You should ask, what is going on, madam? But the governor is not asking enough, because we've never seen a case where the Lagos State government, I'm talking of Lagos State now in particular, because this modern now, say, hey, I gave you this is what they did wrong with it, so that we know that the governor is trying. Until we shout, we don't hear this, and this is not really good on our side.
Yes. Can I comment briefly here?
Yes, maybe you should comment before Honorable. Yes. Well with you, sir.
Okay.
Yeah,
thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much. Sorry, the network around here is a little poor. That's why I went off. The issue of the government not saying anything, it has been like that for a very long time. But in Kogi
we know Nigeria, so we're managing the network. Yes.
Okay. The last administration bought over 160 tractors for Kogi State, both at local government and state level. And then those tractors have not been really seen around in Kogi State. I don't know what's happening. But the state governor, the real governor, has given a marching order that those tractors must all be audited and brought back to the state. Because 2024, we all know what's happening as regards food in the country. And then he said he's looking at 3 crops that he wants to take up in the first phase. Cassava, rice, and maize is what he's looking at. And as we speak, he has made it an announcement that there's going to be monitoring team, because in most cases our monitoring team that we had before, extension workers and so on, are nowhere to be found any longer. But he has asked that those they should be brought back on board, so that we have, it's not going to be business as usual, where you call some farmers from the village, you didn't give them transport, and when they get to the state capital, for instance, you give them 2 bags of fertilizers, carton of chemicals, and so on. And because they don't have enough money to transport themselves, they sell it at the gate there, and then have something to eat. But as it is now,
what a drama!
As it is now,
Yes.
as it is now, what we are trying to do, what the government has said they want to do is, they go to every farm. They've done the farm locations already. The farm sizing, they know what quantity they want. They will go to these farm locations and then distribute these things at the farm location, so that you don't have any reason to sell them any longer. As we speak, for the state, Kogi State, this year, at the first phase, we are looking at over 25,000 hectares of farmland for these 3 crops we are talking about. So we as consultants are talking to the government, and I think the government is listening very well.
Okay. Oh, that is a good news. That is really positive, because the distribution is where we are now. Yeah, go on. Yeah. Distribution. We're talking about distribution. All I mean today, as we on this show, that the government have good intention and we can see them, because I just said how much the Kogi State government pump in, bringing those tractors. Where are they? Implementation, and that is not so. Having a good mind, the government they come up with the good things in the world. Go on. Yes.
I think we're having serious network issues with Aminu Isa Usman.
Yes.
Please, can you speak louder? Can you be louder a little bit so we can get to hear you very well?
Actually, it is a network.
Network issues,
Yes,
I guess.
So let's hear from Lagos, because I think Lagos can help us put this in more perspective. Yes.
Yes. Let me come in terms of monitoring.
Yes.
You know, a situation whereby a state government have a structure. I think the level of monitoring will be limits. Lagos State has a very good structure, which has been laid down by Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and we still maintain the structure up till date. Like I told you that the other time, even if it is via Lagos State, they want to share dividend of democracy for our people to the world, right? The government will still monitor it with, even you will know, with DSS, SSS will take their photograph, you won't know who is who there. There is a structure. You can imagine the last time we shared palliative, we share rice, beans, and Gary. All of a sudden, I don't know how the DSS boss got my number and called me and asked that how many bag of rice do I receive? I told him. How many bag of beans do I receive? I told him. How many bag of Gary do I receive? I told him. How did the sharing go? I now analyzed everything to him, and he now said perfectly that was what he got as a report. You understand? Without knowing that the DSS is monitoring the program.
Yes.
You understand? So that is an adequate measure. It's a proactive measure to monitor what government share to the masses.
So when but Honorable, you were the one that actually mentioned those sabotaging the effort of the government. That's what brought us here. So in other words, that can be handled. If that can be done towards the sharing of palliative, then it should be implemented when it comes to production. Because you don't give money to people to produce things and they don't give account of what they do with the money. That would be killing. It's robbing everybody, and that is exactly. So what you said now, maybe perhaps government should now think about how to use that bring that in, implement that. Let you see if you hear from the DSS, Nigerians are they're very scared. They're very scared. They don't want to go to prison. When they hear one call from an authority, everybody begin to sit up. The only reason we drive Lagos now, I dare not drive in one way. They'll take me. They're gonna test my. They don't misbehave there. You understand? Because the measures are in place. I remember I came to Lagos. That was when Fashola was governor, and my ex was telling me, if you drive like this, Fashola go hold you. You understand? He just did it, which is clear. Once the sanctions and the motivations are there, people behave. I give you a simple instance of what we do here in the UK. If I have a driver's license and I drive well, at the end, and I'm a very good driver, at the end, my insurance begin to go down. My insurance begin to go down. Everything begin to go down. That is motivation. But if I dare break the law, oh my God, that is one of the biggest trouble. They will keep in mind, my farm will be going until they will take my license and I will still pay the money. In fact, that is the most incomplete thing you want to see in your life. They will put you in prison because they don't have prison for you, but you begin to pay. And they will be taking the money from your account. With that, you don't want to drive rough again, man. You don't want to. You don't want that trouble. So that kind of motivation and sanction should be in place. You don't expect human beings to behave the way you want. They're never going to do what you want. We are not meant to. In fact, it's not ugly to Nigerians everywhere. So government giving me excuse that Nigerians are not doing this. That's why I'm still being worried that perhaps these sanctions must be in place. We call it law and order anyway, but you have a way of defining it, Honorable. Like you rightly said, maybe moving forward is not crafting a good policy alone, and monitoring would be an evaluation. If this system is not working, okay, maybe we should try something else. There's that they will need for evaluation and then coming up with something new, sir. And with that being said, they're gone.
That's correct. You've said it all. And like I said, that, we grow by knowledge every day, and we learn from what is going on every day. And, which I believe the governors and the senators and other representatives will be watching us live now and be taking some notable way of securing our country, as well as in terms of the food security in the country. I'm sure the system that have never been implemented or have never been put into place now, I think they can note some points from our discussion now. Because in terms of Lagos State, there's always a way of improvement. That's the only thing we need in Lagos State. But, the structure has been laid down, which everybody believes, even the local government chairman cannot do otherwise. Not to talk over.
Yeah. Honorable, I'm going to allow my team ask their questions on this, but I am going to come back to one important thing, which is the government plan. Let's look at the overall plan. The overall plan being focused on production rather than actually on the palliative.
Okay.
When I heard how Lagos plan to produce social quantity of rice, my heart is beginning to jump. I'm happy. You understand? It should be on production, because there's no amount of palliative that is going to feed us tomorrow. But by the time we take the pains, God created us to sacrifice. We take the pain. Those of us who are Christians, with Jesus Christ sacrificed. Muhammad sacrificed for the Muslims. For us to get to where we are now. You understand? So we need to sacrifice 7 months to go into production. My question is going back to these two governments. What plans are in place? We want to hear. Maybe that's what Nigerians need to hear to be happy with the Lagos State government and Wikogi. What are the productive measures in place, agriculture-wise, that will save us out of where we are? But perhaps my team, they want to ask questions, so I'll keep quiet and I'll let this young woman jump in first, because I know they have a lot to say.
Okay. In terms of the plan in Lagos State now, where the Lagos State governor, Governor Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, have take a necessary measure, drastic measure, in order for the plantation, crop farming plantation and all that, and even rice, the rice plantation as well is put into place. We have about thousands of hectares of land at Ekpe now, which K2 Ekpe, which they've started planting now, because we started planning for the next, like you said, in the next 6-7 months now. I'm very sure other states will come to Lagos, will request from Lagos that they needed rice and all that. We should be able to supply other states from Lagos now.
I know
Very
if Lagos mean to do things, they will do it. They've shown the example in the nation. So that's why I'm happy to have you today. And I'm really jumping on this. And I really, if Lagos has done well in other areas, maybe in this agricultural sector, the land is still there. You understand? You don't have all the land in the world, but the land is still there. You can show this example. The world of technology doesn't need the whole land anymore.
And you can imagine a situation whereby the governor, the Lagos State governor, have put in place the food market here and there. Now we have one at Ibioro in Lagos State where you can go and buy something at a cheaper rate. And we have proper monitoring for that one as well. Even the Honorable Commissioner for Agriculture usually go around there. Sometimes she would discard and go there like end user, consumers. So go to the market and how much they are selling their things there. She will know. And we have adequate measure. Like now, even we still want to extend that one now to make sure it goes to every local government in the state, across the Lagos state. And to cushion the effect of this food scarcity now, Lagos State have directed all the local government to, we want to have something like a mama put. Every local government to have their mama put and get their ticket from the local government to go and eat, pending the time we grow our own plantation in the states. You can imagine all that. And we are in processing of second phase of palliative sharing now as well. All this, putting all these things together, I'm not sure Lagos State will have a problem. And in some months now, maybe 6-7 months now, we should be able, Kogi also should be able to request for the food from Lagos, as well as other states as well.
Yes.
I'm sorry to mention Kogi first, Mr. Aminu.
Data just join us. Don't worry. Data just join us. It would be nice. I don't think we can fault the progress of Lagos in some areas. And we're saying that if they, I'm going to ask one more question and I'll keep quiet so that my people. But let's welcome Believe from I know he's a special.
Yes, it's Believe Egbe, special senior special advisor to the Delta State Governor on media. Good morning, sir.
Hello. Good morning, everybody.
Yes.
Good to be here again.
Yes, nice to have you here once again, sir. And so we've been on the discussion so far. We know that there is food crisis here and there. There is hunger in the land. Of course, you are here in Nigeria. You already know that story. And now, what is the Delta State government doing to cushion the effect of these crucial times we see ourselves?
Yeah, thank you. Well, in our own capacity as a state, I'll say we've done quite well, even though in reality we cannot meet 100% of the demands. But to a very large extent, the Delta State government has been, up and doing. And from August, on a more specific note, from August last year, the Delta State government has been distributing food palliatives, to across the 25 local government areas. And also, the state government also adopted, a strategy through the Delta State Civil Service. You recall that there was an additional 10,000 naira to the salaries of about the 50,000 plus civil servants in the state, and that has been on for for some time now, since the inception of that that policy in August, or was it August? In August, yes, in August of last year, and that has been on. So far so good. We've been trying our best.
Sir, Dilip, you're welcome. You know, this is not the Chris here. My question is, because we've been discussing with Lagos and Kogi, and they've been telling us not only the palliative, but the productive measures in place to make sure this food are actually produced. We can continue to share, but we want to know what the Delta State government, if they are still in line with what Kogi and Lagos is doing, to produce rice or produce this three major. Kogi picked on three major items: rice, maize, and one other product. They focus on that. They want to make sure they have that. And what's that?
Cassava.
Yeah.
Well, another factor you need to consider is that every state has its priorities.
Exactly.
And we may not want to use Lagos State as a barometer, yes, for measuring the priorities in Delta State. Because you need to look at the population disparity and all of that. So while Lagos State may need to immediately commence a production of rice, you also need to ask yourself how long it will take to have all of those rice farms in place and to also get to the stage of harvest and all of that. In Delta State, our greenhouse farms in Igbiri, they are up. The Delta State government over the past few months, we've been on that project, and as a matter of fact, the government injected 2 billion naira into that project, and so far so good. We are just waiting for the result. Of course, we know that farming is not something you just go into today and expect in the next few weeks.
So in other words, I want to believe that why the government is sharing some palliatives. We are making efforts to produce. They are greenhouse measures to produce.
Yes, we are making efforts to
Yes, to produce what exactly, sir? We want you to be specific, sir.
Because farming, like I mentioned, is not something you just start today and then begin to harvest tomorrow. So while we are waiting for the production of those items, we also need to at least distribute already made palliatives and all of those things.
Like Lagos is doing something when I don't know whether the Mama Put straight measure. We'll come to that. We'll be coming back to Lagos on that. So we hear the palliative in place. And to be honest, like we said, we admit that the government is doing all they can. But the question we are worried about is palliative will not save us, so production is there. And the question is the monitoring of the production. We have not actually, like Princess is asking, what exactly is the greenhouse? What are we producing in Delta State today, so that we know that there's hope? The ordinary Deltans want to know, oh, my governor is doing this, is producing food for us to eat. And we should be expected to say, between now and 6 months, or now and 1 year, we are patient people, that things will be different. While we are suffering today, we should be seeing light at the end of the tunnel. So if it is 1 year time, we will wait. What is the Delta State government producing that we should be expecting, sir?
Well, a little deviation from your question. I like to be very, very realistic. Like I mentioned earlier, the Delta State government is doing its best. We are the greenhouse farm at Imbiri, we are also creating that enabling environment, for farms and other expand their operations and to also boost their productivity. But by and large, I think we continue to encourage our people to engage themselves in farming. Because if we sit down and wait for government to plant crops, plant cassava, plant rice, plant tomatoes, the entire population demand, then I think we'll just be deceiving ourselves. So as a state government, we are doing our best, but we'll continue to encourage our people to also go into farming. I have a farm, a small farm, not on commercial basis, but on subsistence basis. I have a small cassava farm, I have a small cucumber farm. So personally, I am not even going to wait for what the government.
No. You are not getting something. Boomer, you are not getting something here.
Okay.
But before we move on, Mr. Aminu, can we have your? Can you mute your device for some time, except you're speaking, because that sound is actually coming from your end.
I know.
Thank you
I
so
didn't want
much,
to
sir.
mute him. I could mute him, but I don't want him. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. The sound is actually off. Billy, let's get something very straight here, and we're also having some comments already. Like the question I asked earlier, when you say we have green area or green lands, the Delta State
Greenhouse.
government pumped in greenhouse 2 billion naira as to that regard. Billy Egbe, can you tell us exactly what we are producing, what we are cultivating, or what we should be expecting as a people? You saying you have your own farm, everybody should go into farming is another thing. The government doing this on behalf of the states is another thing, sir.
Well, yeah, thank you. Our greenhouse farms are producing. We have the tomato section. We have different crops. I've not been there. I only saw the pictures, so I can't really point at the exact. I can't really pinpoint all the exact crops that have been planted in that place. But from what I saw, I know that tomatoes and all of those things, pepper and other food crops have been planted in that place. So
where
that's
exactly do we have this greenhouse, sir, in Delta State?
It's I think in the Kano Northeast local government area.
Okay.
On a very large expanse of land there at Imberi.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Brume. I think you answered the question, but you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna jump back to Lagos because we had on this platform the essence of today's broadcast is to bounce ideas. See what the states are doing to help in this difficult time. It is more than
Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Our network was bad at some point, so I didn't really follow up on the conversations. But as at the time we joined, I heard the person from Lagos saying that someone at some point had disguises to go to the market and just tries to buy as the end user, right?
Yes.
I don't know the conversation that you had before you got to that point. That's why I want to ask the question. Do these farmers, do you provide them with I heard something about a fruit farm or so, but do you provide fertilizers when they are farming? Do you give them grants when they are farming? Do you provide vehicles for them to take these crops to the market? Because a farmer charges or a producer charges for his product after putting all of these factors in place.
Agree.
So how do you know that this is the price, this price they charge is too much for that particular product? Do you provide support before going back to checkmate the prices?
Thank you. In other words, the government put their mouth where their money is. You understand? That's the question. So, what measures are in place by the Lagos State government? Because if you don't support the farmers, what moral ground do you have to monitor how much they sell? That is the question.
Okay. Let me answer the question one after the other. She was asking that she doesn't know what discussion looked like before I could answer that someone has to disguise to the Dioro market, and what we discussed was that the monitoring aspect of every whole process. So that was when I now answer that the Commissioner of Agriculture himself, Lagos State Commissioner of Agriculture herself, has to disguise sometimes and go to that market. This market is a government market, right? Which government has inputs into that market. You bring your products, we subsidize it for our people.
Okay.
You have what you are selling.
Okay.
How much are you selling the bag of rice, for instance? Okay. And the bag of rice is so amount, X and Y amount, and okay, let's pay you, then we subsidize it. People can easily go there and buy at the lower rate.
Oh, that's fine.
Yes.
So in essence, so in essence, we are buying from the government, not directly from the producers.
Yes.
But in other, to be fair, Princess, if the government, for instance, say for the production of cement, we're giving you so amount in foreign currency, we're giving you at our normal, if we subsidize whatever you produce, then we have right to ask you to sell at a particular rate.
Yes.
Because that's why it is in the interest of the public. That's why we put in our money. So government, I can understand government coming in. I think the question has been well answered. They subsidize, and subsidizing does not have to come with only giving money or even doing things. Even if you provide a place where you can sell the product at a cheaper, you might go and rent a shop, but maybe you're renting our shop at a lower rate, then we can also say, hey, don't sell higher than this. That's why government is giving you this. So for every benefit government is giving to you, they will make some demand in the interest of the public. And I think that is fair.
That's fair.
I have a question for you, sir. I think talking about production here, some persons after production, they have problems of preservation and reservation. So I would like to know, sir, the preservative method and the reservation method you are applying after production, sir.
It's a good one.
Are you talking of Lagos State?
Yeah, let's take a look at Lagos State, because one of the major problems, I think this is a valid question. If they produce a lot of tomatoes in the north, in somewhere, you find them, all of them being wasted at the end of the day, because we don't know how to process it and can them, and for later use. So preservation is part of agriculture, and I think it's going to be a big cost for those people studying agriculture. So it's asking. I know it's on the early stage. If you're just producing yet, you've not got the food, so you're not thinking of preserving. But is there strategy in place to preserve and this food? That is the young lady's question, sir.
All the facility of, I can tell you categorically that in terms of preservation, these are the part of the blueprint that have been put in place. Not either with a perishable item or other items has been well preserved to the extent no one will lose their productivities.
Okay.
And sir, you did talk about Mama Put's policy in Lagos State. Am I correct, sir?
Yes,
that's correct.
Okay, sir. We know Lagos. When we're talking about a state that is well populated, Lagos will be one of the states. And then, sir, how sure are we? We see that Lagos, it's quite. They are quite. We have a lot of people there, and then this implementation of Mama Put. How do you tend to go about it, sir? Knowing fully well that sometimes too, when the government try to do something nice, the ordinary Nigerians might just take advantage or try to misuse that very opportunity. So how do you tend to go about this, sir? Can you elaborate on that Mama Put policy, sir?
Okay, this is how it's been planned according to the state government. We had a meeting at the Lausa with the Honorable Commissioner for Agric, I think 2 weeks ago, and we discussed about this Mama Put issue as well as other discussion in order to make life easy to live for our people. The measure that was taking so long concerning the Mama Put is that we want to have at least 18 Mama Put per local government. We have 20 local government and 37 LCDA in Lagos State, and there is going to be the 18 per local government has to be in 57 places across the Lagos State. So the local government of the local government will be in control of the tickets, whereby when we are talking of a physical challenge, people will go there. Widows and widowers will rightly go there, as well as the less privileged people can go there to go and collect the ticket to go and eat at the Mama Put in all the local governments across the states.
So how long do you intend to carry on with these policies? If for a period of time, I was going to ask you what's the criteria for assessing the place, but you've already said that you've mentioned the people. But how long do you intend to go with this policy? Is this something that will be for a very long time, or is it short term, sir?
We all know why, like my brother rightly said there now, we cannot be doing that for long. We are just doing that now. So far, we are planting rice and gari.
Yes.
In the couple of 6-7 months now, that should be fetching us a food. You understand? But pending the time, one Yoruba adage says, I'm sorry for non-Yoruba speaking
No,
people.
don't worry. We love it.
So àyàngbẹ ajá dùn, but kí ajá tó gbẹ kí la fẹ́ máa jẹ. You understand? The fried meat, the frying dog meat, sweet really, but before it gets to dry, what are we going to be eating? That is exactly where the measure that Lagos State government is putting in place. Despite that fact, all the local government across the Lagos State is doing something of such. You can easily go to your local government and buy the ticket. Once you buy a ticket, you buy food item within the local government premises at the lower rate, like 50% off. That one also is ongoing in Lagos State here, I can assure you that. And you can ask anybody that living in Lagos to testify to that. Aside from Mama Put, the local government is selling our own food as well. You go there, you buy your ticket, but it has limit of what you can get at a go.
Yes.
So that you will not go out there to go and be selling.
The Mama Put this idea. Nigeria, as a Nigerian, I'm used to hearing very beautiful ideas, and Nigerians we always come up with very beautiful ideas. It's so beautiful to hear, and I think that's one of our problems in Nigeria. We are easy to accept whatever we hear. The Mama Put, are there any, monitoring and evaluation is very important in any project. Now, you spoke about widows and those who would need to visit these restaurants to eat. Now, I am a Nigerian, and true, we know how it dey happen. How can you tell that this person really needs this food and this person does not need to be here? Are there any special methods how you're going to monitor the inflow of people? Are there, or you're just setting up restaurants and anybody can just walk in and eat? I don't know if you've answered that already, but I am concerned about
it is important. Yeah.
Okay.
Means testing, yes.
Thanks for asking that, because we know everybody want to jump into any available opportunity in the country, even if it is if you have adequate at your home to eat, you still want to make use of that opportunity, and such opportunity is not meant for everyone. You understand? So it's not possible for me now, for example, when the Mama Put is fully established. So it's not possible for me to go there that because I'm honorable or because I'm, I have influence. You understand? It's not possible for me to go there. Even my mindset, is for me to establish my own way of helping people out of these challenges we have in the country, not to add to it. You understand? But in terms of monitoring, we put it in place in every local government, like we have the directive from the commissioner. In all local governments, we are monitoring this thing. Even those people that are going to be in charge of food, cooking of food as a Mama Put, we are doing something now, data collection of everyone. And in each local government, we know ourselves. In each community, we know ourselves. We know who is physically challenged. We know who is tied to. So you cannot come to my local government now and say, maybe you want a ticket for free food at Mama Put. And we know you very well, that no, you are capable on your own side. You won't get it. This is Lagos State.
Thank you, sir. In fact,
Anyway, we'll see how that
enjoy
goes,
Lagos.
because
Go.
I think Blessing's question is very valid, because anybody can wake up and say she's a widow just because she's
Yes.
hungry.
Yes.
People can wake up and they tell you, "Oh, I'm deaf and dumb," because the person is hungry at that point in time. But we look forward to how the Lagos state government will actually put all this in place, and of course for us to see that this very beautiful and very good policies not being misused as usual, like the ones we have been seeing.
And in addition, it's not limited to physical challenge people, widowers, aged people only, but the people you know that this person is unemployed, right? That who has been struggling to get employed but not yet employed,
Yes.
also will be considered.
Yes.
So are we talking about 3 square meters or once a day? Let's be very sure of what we're saying here.
That modality I can't say for now until it gets to the implementation stage.
Once a day is something. At least if they can eat one decent food a day, government cannot do all. So I agree. Let me say this.
Once again, I would emphasize monitoring. I remember that there was this scheme, I've forgotten what it was called, but it was about feeding children in public schools. I don't know anybody can remember. That was in the past government.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. And I was privileged to visit some of these schools, and the food. I know that government actually provided money for them to be fed, but if you look at the food, I personally can't even taste it, because the end product, it was looking horrible. I don't know how it was prepared, and it was really, personally, it was, for me, that was a waste. Because if you have money set aside for something, anything worth doing is worth doing well. If people collect funds, it's not just about monitoring the end users, those coming to take the food. What measures have been put in place for those in charge, for those cooking these meals, for those with the funds, right? Sometimes you can have, say, give this person 50,000, and this person collects 50,000, gives this person 30, and this person collects 30, and the end person who is supposed to cook might end up getting 10,000. And of course, workshop, like Princess said the other day, where person they work, they chop. Person might use 5,000 naira to, remember that 50,000 naira was dropped, but finally I got 10, and then I would decide to use 5, because of course, me myself, I no come count bridge for Lagos now. So this monitoring again, let it not be that money will be provided and then people, because of course I'm hungry, I'll just come and receive what I don't know to eat. The food will not be encouraging. Monitoring should be done at each stage. Please, I emphasize monitoring again. It should be monitored so that people, the end consumers who have, they would be
a well-nourished food.
It will be worth it.
Thank you. What is not just eating a dry rice with palm oil alone, but of course something very nutritious.
Oh, wow.
Thank you very much, my sister. Thank you very much, my sister. I want to assure you that anything Lagos State want to implement or want to do, we have adequate monitoring for it. Monitoring from the state government and the local government level, even including the CDC and CDA, we monitor it. But it now depends on the way of monitoring from each local government. You understand? Yes. But as you are laying your emphasis on that monitoring aspect now, we all know all these things. We have it at the back of our mind before that there must be an adequate monitoring for this plan. And I want to assure you, in the state, we have, like I told this honorable house that in the earlier on, I said anything that government want to do in Lagos State, we have DSS and SSS on ground. Aside from being monitored from the state and local government level and to the community level as well. we have the DSS and SSS monitoring the whole process. So I'm very, very optimistic that at the end of the day, everybody will see it well in Lagos State.
Thank you very much. Listen, our honorable have answered. In fact, Lagos has been on the hot seat here. You understand? And thank you, Lagos, for at least pioneering, or at least showing us the way. I must say this. Yeah, you've done well as a state. Anytime I talk in this country, in Nigeria, I say Lagos, Lagos, Lagos. And for those that doesn't know, I would be saying thank you to Lagos, but don't know that Lagos GDP is higher than that of Kenya. Your governor mentioned that on the national television. So that is how big Lagos is. It's not a small state. And we want you to continue to show us leadership. Please show us leadership. But before I end this show, because you are a point of contact to many states out there and to the Nigerian state in general, I will only ask this, and then I'll say we'll let Honorable lead. Honorable.
Yes, sir.
I started the show by pointing out that we as a nation have all it takes to produce and actually export. The export aspect of it is what is people like us are worried about, because this is a time where the dollar is keep rising because we are only relying on only export of crude oil. By the time we now go into the food, which the resources is there for us now, we produce food and export, there will be more money coming into the country. I know we are now at the stage where we are looking for what to eat. That will be on the long term. But one will expect that the government of Asiwaju, I want to throw that to them there, all right? But there's still nothing wrong if Lagos begin to earn extra money from export of agri products. Lagos, like I said, is bigger than Kenya. So Lagos can also think in that direction. You might not be able to see this now. Is there measures in place to see that made in Lagos? You see, it's going to be a big brand, though. Made in Lagos food in the international market. Because I go into the market here, we have Ghanaian shop and all that. They bring in food. And it's time now for our product to be on the mainstream market in Europe so that we can earn money, foreign money, and bring home. You know, it's time to think outside the box of feeding the locals. I'm just saying, I know we'll be talking about the locals. For those of us in the diaspora, we would like to see the pride of Nigeria saying, oh, this is made in Lagos. This is made in Nigeria. You understand? On the local market here. They not do us. We didn't do anything wrong. So is that in place, or we will be thinking along that line?
Okay. Thank you, sir. And I want to tell you this, that the problem we're having presently, the challenges we are having presently concerning the food security, I think we need to have adequate one first before we think of exportation. Yes. In terms of, I'm talking of in terms of food security in Nigeria. Nigerians need to come out of this hunger before we could think of exportation.
I know.
And when we are talking of the locally made, which is Nigerian made, the patronage of the Nigerian made lies in my hand and your hand. Yes. Is a collective responsibility. You can imagine a situation whereby you go to a shop that you want to go and buy, maybe you want to change your wardrobe or something. You now check, oh, this not made in England. It's not made in Turkey. It's not made in France. It's not made in Italy. What are we doing with Italian? Let's patronize our locally made. Either we want to buy a shoe, we want to buy a cloth, we want to buy a palm sandal. Let's patronize our locally made. That is where we can start. Look at South Africa there. There was time I was coming from Ireland. I enroute my ticket to South Africa down to Nigeria. I got some, because in my boutique, I bought sales. We do sales there where you belong to a store card. I'm a store member. You have a card which you can buy sales maybe by around November or thereabouts. So I bought adequate clothes in order to come and resell here in Nigeria. Get it to South Africa. One of my friends now show her girlfriend, his girlfriend, that I know, let me buy this for you. You can imagine the South Africa, no matter how the quality of product made in another country, they will not patronize you. the South African lady now said, okay, this is lovely. When she want to check the label, she checked the label and said, no, I don't want. I said, why? Is it not made in South Africa? He said, Baba, I need made in South Africa.
Good.
Do we have that mindset in Nigeria here? And the second thing that happens to me, I went to ShopRite on SLN, Pretoria, in South Africa, to go and buy some fruits there. Getting there, I've even forgotten. I now take out 10 euro. I gave it to the lady. Now look at it and say, what is this? Is this money? Of which she knows that is euro.
Yes.
Is this money? I said, yes, this is 10 euro. He said, no, I want rent.
Exactly.
Do we emulate that here in Nigeria? These are the things that can boost our economy, that can even make a dollar to be useless for us in the country. You can imagine a situation whereby I'm spending 1,000 for somebody that is doing naming ceremony. Somebody now come with $1, maybe just 5. And I came out with a pack of 1,000, which is 100,000. And the person want to spend $5 in $1. So the musician now changed the topic. For me, I'm taking as an example because it's $1.
Yes.
He doesn't want to know. So we value that dollar than our own naira. Not until we individual as Nigerians, we change our mindset to patronize our locally made, to patronize, to make our naira to be valued. We are just blaming government.
No,
is government that go to market for us? Is this government that...
Honorable, I will not let you drop here. I thank you for raising this. We lack patronage. We are not people. But do you know where the problem is? The government. I cried on this platform. How could our senators be driving made in foreign cars? You understand? We have Innocent today. It's a government official driving Toyota. It's already, in fact, that is what is killing our economy. I agree what you said. We want the local people, ordinary one of us should be patronizing what we have. In fact, our food is better. Last time I was in Nigeria, they said they want to give me chicken. I said, no, I need fowl. The difference between fowl and chicken. Nigeria, would they produce fowl? Now they are grow up. I know they eat chicken. You come and see, chicken is killing us here. So who want to eat chicken? I want fowl. You understand? But our politicians, a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, look at the number of Toyotas. That is a sin. You know, that is what is really killing our economy, not the small one. And I agree. If we do our own bit and the government do their own bit by using our locally made cars, hopefully we will be achieving the same thing. This year I take on that. That's why I didn't let you stop. I want you to add the government part of it into your submission.
Now, I want to say this. It's a very good topic to raise. You make mention Innocent Muto now. Not quite long, I think it was 2 weeks ago or last week or thereabout, if I'm not mistaken. I was coming from Lagos from Ikeja towards Ibejuleki. I saw an Hilux, Innocent Hilux at my front along the express. And I said, wow, this is Innocent Motors. What is wrong with what is wrong with this vehicle?
Exactly.
The vehicle is very, very strong and dynamic. So it's a thing we Nigerians can be patronized, even it will boost our economy, right? But what I want you to know in terms of government, that why can't government be patronizing the Innocent Motor and some other locally made?
Yes.
You know, I'm not there.
Yeah, I know.
To decide.
Yeah, I know.
But I believe before we can make that decision, a motion supposed to have been raised from the House.
Yes.
Me as a person from my own local government now, if the local government chairman said, okay, what we are going to buy as an official car now is Innocent Motor, I'm very, very well pleased, 100% with it. As long as no automobile company that does not have an error.
Yes, of course.
That is why Toyota and some other make have a recall. They call back, they produce sometimes, they call it back.
Thank you.
Because they detect an error was detected from it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how we can grow in the country.
Thank you.
If government should patronize the Innoson Motor, our naira will get valued as well.
Yes.
This is one of the way that we can use to boost our economy here in the country. But before that, president cannot say, "Oh yeah, every one of you senators, the National Assembly should go for what's it called, Innoson Motor." But there must be somebody that could raise the motion from the house.
From the house.
And
I'm sure they're hearing us now. I'm sure they're hearing us. Yes, please. If they do that for us, it will save. You know, the bulk of the foreign exchange, and we don't want to talk about even sending our children abroad, because I know it's okay to send our children abroad to study. The amount of money Nigerians spend in the UK, sir, I don't think we have time for that now, because I don't want our 30 minutes. A school fees in the United Kingdom is £14,000. 14,000, sir, for one child, and that 14,000 is almost 30 million naira now for one child. And imagine if we put all that together, would our university be great? We have the best universities. And I'm happy that the president for once now introduced what we call this student loan. So that people should pay school fees. If you don't have money, take loan, pay. When you start working, you pay back. So I don't believe in free school. But see, perhaps we can do this, and make our country great. But sending children abroad, going abroad for treatment, is something Nigerians, especially those in government, need to stop. But like you said, somebody get to raise that in the house. I wouldn't be putting that. I would not be attacking. I would not be honorable to that.
And I'm sure. Yes. And I'm sure all this, a Rome was not built in a day.
Yes.
The Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, I'm very, very optimistic. Like every average Nigeria does, that the narrative will be changed, but it takes gradual process.
Amen.
But the house as well needed a role to play, much role to play concerning all this, because what goes to the reading pass will be signed by the president. That's the procedure. President cannot wake up in a day and say, "No, I want to implement this policy," if it's not a national policy that he is capable to do. What the House proposed is what President signed. So like we are talking of a patronage of Innoson Motors now, somebody has to raise it from the House, which he himself or herself will benefit from.
Yes.
You understand? So the implementation of policy that will favor our locally made should be raised from the House.
Honorable, thank you very much. I can't wait to let's Honorable. So next time when we call him, we will come back, because
we've been on the show with Honorable Adeleke Olabanjo, FCPA. He is the Supervisor for Agriculture, Social Service, Rural and Community Affairs, Lekki LCDA. Thank you so much, sir. You've done very well this morning. We appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Billy, and then we still have Billy Brume Egbe with us here. Just before we let you go, Brume, I was going to ask you, I see that you've been going off on network, I guess, that you did talk about palliative, that the government has sent out palliative in Delta State to 25 local government areas. Am I correct, sir?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, a lot of people alleged, and we saw also from the comment section that they are saying that is it what people are saying is just 1 cup of rice for a household. I don't know how true is that. And of course, a lot of people are saying they didn't get as well. Were there actually a monetary policy you used in giving out this palliative, or you just send them across to people without monitoring how this palliative were given to these people?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, I think our with due respect to our people, I think maybe when they hear about palliatives, they just expect that government is going to give the over 5 million citizens of Delta State each a bag of rice or half bag of rice to more than 5 million citizens. But that is not the case. There is a limited, this thing is based on a budget. So if 5 billion naira, as an example, is budgeted for the distribution of palliatives in the state, that 5 million naira can only go to the extent that it is budgeted for. So if the 5 billion naira can only afford, for example, 5,000 bags of cement or of rice, or 5,000 bags of beans and 5,000 bags of rice and 5,000 bags of gari as an example, then the entire 15,000 bags, now if you, whatever modality, whatever sharing formula that they adopt, maybe based on the social demographic and all of those things, if they use all those parameters, then let's say, for example, each local government area, you send 1,000 bags of rice, or 500 bags of rice, or 250 bags of rice to a local government area, for example. How can it be realistic for everybody in that local government to expect that one bag of rice will get to a family or will get to a household? So we need to be realistic. So I can understand some of those complaints that if somebody says that 1 cup of rice got to a particular family, well, I don't know, but personally, I know places where, you know, some households, some people got about half bag. It depends. Now, in a local government area or in a community where you have 100 people, the truth is that the distribution will be equal, because the lower the number of people in that community, the higher volume of food items they will get. So if you are giving 500 bags to each of the local government areas, a local government area that has, for example, 1,000 persons, and a local government area that has, for example, 5,000 people, distributing the same quantity
But
of food
shouldn't these
items.
things be checked, Brume? Knowing fully well that the local government is having maybe 1,000 people, and you have other local government having 100 people, and you give the same quantity of food. And what is the criteria for even giving these people? Is it just to every household, or a specific reason for them to get it? And I don't understand why we're having the same issue when we have a local government full of 1,000, 2,000, another local government is 200, and you're giving the same
The point I'm
quantity.
making is it depends on the number of people that come out to request that those palliatives are distributed to. Do you understand? It depends on the number of people that come out. In a local government area, for example, 200 people can decide to go to the distribution point. In another local government area, 1,000 people can decide to go to the distribution point.
So
I don't know if you understand me.
what you are saying now is that everybody who goes out to the distribution points gets palliative.
Well, I can't really speak on that. Let me not say what is not realistic. But this is Nigeria. If you say 1,000 people get to a distribution point, and then the entire 1,000 people will go back with 1 bag of rice, I don't know. I can't speak on that. But I know between you and I, we know that
you are not getting her, sir. You are not getting her. She's asking that. Is it everybody that goes to the palliative center that gets this palliative? That is what. Go ahead, Blessing.
Because we do not get I am yet to understand the sharing formula. Is there a data of people, or people just come and call? If you're saying everybody that comes, somebody can leave this community and go to that community to collect. How do you know?
No. Each one, this thing is shared on word-to-word basis. You are expected, in fact, the way they do it, you have to come with, there are particulars that you need to come with. So to identify that, yes, you are related to this particular community, maybe by way of your voter's card or any other particular that can relate you to that immediate community where that palliative is being distributed.
Okay.
Well, we still have a lot of comments coming in, but because of time, I don't
Look out of
think
time, man. Bruman, we're
yes,
gonna
we're
have
actually
you
out
again
of
and
time.
again. I hope, Bruman, you guys will welcome us in Asaba. We're coming to be there with
You're
you.
always welcome. You're always
Yeah.
welcome. Our doors are open.
Yes, we're looking forward to working with you there.
Thank you.
Definitely, we know government job is a hard job, and especially in Delta State, where we are broad. But I think we can still do better as a state. I don't want to compare, like you rightly said. We don't have to copy what Lagos is doing on that. But if we see something good, we need to take some home.
Yes,
My father
yes.
said, there's one word. My father said that they do in imitation. Now they get riches. If you rich man, you go imitate them. You understand? So we want to imitate good things and these bad ones. We need to produce more food for our state, so that at the end, if every state goes into the production of food, before we know it, this whole story of food shortage will become a story of the past. Maybe it's even a good thing that we're going through this, because if we produce, anyone produce one, but before you know, we have too much, and then we begin to sell. And then we see money begin to come in. I think it's
there was a time when farming used to be our pride in Delta State. But unfortunately, with the advent of technology and with the advent of I don't know what happened within the last 2 decades. Within the last 2 decades.
Oh yes, spoil us.
A whole lot just
as well.
Huh?
Insecurity
beyond even the politics. I don't know, but I think a whole lot just changed. There was a time when people used to produce in my village. I remember in those days, we used to in fact 70% of the total consumption in the house was locally sourced.
Yes.
70%. Maybe even the pepper, we used to plant pepper, tomatoes, and all of that, and all of those things. The only things we used to buy from the market, maybe fish, meat, and even the fish, we used to source it locally. Maybe meat and all of those things, because of course we expect cow meat and all of those things from other parts of the country. But I really don't know what happened within the last 2 decades that everybody is now dependent. How can we, the truth, in all reality, how can we be dependent on government for the production of the cassava that we will eat? Let's be realistic. What is happening?
And so maybe also our government should also tackle beef up security to enable our farmers access their farms. We are not going to debate that today, Bruman, because of time. But definitely we are going to bring you on the show again so we can talk about that, the measures the government is putting in place as regarding insecurity. When we talk about our farmers, they are not able to access their farms. They are not able, like for instance, my mother's village, for some time since I've been around, they've not been able to go to their farms, and that is a very serious issue and crisis here. Our viewers who've been here with Believe Ogene Bruman Egbe, he is the Senior Special Assistant to Delta State Government on Media. Thank you so much, Bruman, for being on the show this morning. We appreciate your time. You're very
well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, viewers, it's been a wonderful morning.
It's a long one.
Today is all about food, and the people. And that is something that has to do with, there's something that is actually affecting each and every one of us. So I think it's a good one if you ask me, Daddy Chris.
Yes, it is. And we miss Kogi a lot, to be honest. We wanted to get more.
No, he sent a message already that the network is terrible, but he will be on the show next time with us.
Yes, please. So we need to have Kogi back and look at the different. Lagos did well. I'm quite impressed with the work they're doing there. And Bruman came in a little bit late, so we're going to have data again. And this is what we should be doing: bringing this kind of people to the show and spending time with them. Really, now we know what is happening in Lagos. We know some of the things happening in Kogi. Can I say now there's hope? Can we say there's element of hope based on what we've heard? Young ladies, sure. I know Abuja they are very optimistic. Are you pessimistic still?
Yes, there's hope.
Okay, thank you. That's a good place to stop today. For the first time, we ended this show with word hope. And as usual, I know Princess will give us her last message. Don't she covered a lot of the this, and that's where we're going to end the show. Princess.
Yes, viewers, thank you so much for being on the show today. It's been a wonderful morning for all of us. And of course, do well to follow us on our social media handles. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and of course, Twitter. Leave us with your comments as well. We'd love to hear from you. Also, please, while you are out there, drive carefully. Consider of course, yourself and others while you're using the road. Obey the traffic laws, and as well try to put a smile on the face of someone today. Everybody, we are all in this together. We're going through hard times. A lot of things are actually happening at the moment. People are not happy. People are just angry unnecessarily. So try to be your brother's keeper today. Remember, one little thing you will just do, and that might just be a saving grace for someone you meet on the way today. So be nice to the next person close to you. Have yourself a very wonderful morning, and we're going to see you on the show again tomorrow morning.
Are you tired of endless search for the perfect property? Look no further. Let SRTV Real Estate be your trusted partner in the journey to finding your dream home.
We can offer you a dream home in a serene environment and beautiful ambience, surrounded with Mother Nature. That's definitely what you crave for. Well, you asked for it, and here we have it. Why not live the best of your dreams by making do with time, space, and value? The smartest form of real estate investment is that which is done at the initial public offer.
Join the long list of satisfied clients who have chosen SRTV Real Estate for all their property needs. We pride ourselves in turning your dreams into homes.
Act today. Secure your slice of a palace, even on a flexible payment plan, and embark on a journey towards a brighter tomorrow. Your dream is valid, living in a place of fabulous wealth and great opportunities. Don't compromise the standards of living. Explore the world of vast opportunities by investing in SRTV Real Estate today. Superb location, habitable, accessible, attractive, and a secret to every smart investor. For your real estate, SRTV is trusted and reliable.
Contact us today with the number on the screen or
email us at realestate@superiorradioandtelevision.com. SRTV Logistics is here. Are you into a restaurant business? We are here to help you move your goods from one place to another. If you're moving your goods out of the country or within the country, you can come to us.
Trust us to handle your deliveries with the utmost care and professionalism, ensuring your items reach their destination safely and on time. Don't settle for anything less.
We're part of the global supply chain of helping goods to move from one point of origin to the point of consumption according to the needs of customers. You can contact us with the numbers on the screen or email us at logistics@superiorradioandtelevision.com.